Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm KT and this is Simple Living with KT, the place where we talk about the issues facing our lives in a simple and mindful way. Today is day 10 of Vlogmas and we're going to be talking all about budget burnout. What is it? What's one of the major contributors to getting it? And how you can overcome budget burnout so that you can reach your money goals. When I think about changing your lifestyle and getting a budget in place, I often compare it to a diet versus a lifestyle change when it comes to the food that you're eating. It's become all too common and normalized for someone to see a fad like the keto diet and go all in for that for maybe 2 to 3 weeks, even maybe a couple of months. But then when they've decided that the restriction is too much and they can't go any further, they completely not only fizzle out of the diet that they were doing, but they don't keep any of the lifestyle changes that would make their results long term. That for dieting is called a yo-yo diet. If you experience something like that with budgeting, I would say we more commonly call it budget burnout. And just like with food, restriction is a major factor when it comes to budget burnout. Just think of most of the advice that you probably see when you're first looking to get into budgeting. It's about how to cut expenses and welcoming frugality, and in general, how to cut back as much as possible. While there is a time and place for cutting back on your expenses, where it becomes restriction and where it leads to budget burnout, where you don't think that you'll be able to continue, and not just continue, when you do stop budgeting, you go all out as far as eating out, going on any vacations that you haven't planned for, racking up a little bit of credit card debt. That's not what should happen after you become focused on budgeting. When my husband and I were paying off our debt, of course there was a time where we were, let's say, intense about paying off the debt than others. However, when we let up the gas a little bit on the fervor that we had for paying off debt, it's because we recognized that it was time. For us, that happened a couple of months after we initially cut our expenses. We always allocated fund money in our budget. However, after the first few months of realizing that we have a plan in place and we're able to stick to it without being tugged by a lot of impulse spending or honestly just feeling like we were being restrictive, we gave ourselves a little bit more grace to do things like going on a road trip or eating out more than we had when we first started and were really, really intense. And we would not have been able to find this type of balance if we were intentional and mindful. And here are 3 simple things that you can do to make sure that you're being intentional and mindful when it comes to your own budget. That way, if you do decide, okay, I do need to cut back, you have some things that will ground you in the reason why you're doing it, and it will make it so much more worthwhile. Number 1 is to know your why. For some of you, that will go without saying. Of course, you should know the reason why you're taking these actions. However, it's not just about knowing the actions of why you're looking to get out of debt or why you want to spend less going out to restaurants. It's also important to understand what the consequence of not following through actually means for your life. For me, that would mean not being able to save up for a down payment for a house. That would also mean not being able to visit family back in Florida. Those are very important. And so if I could see that if I saved $300 or $200 a month to reach those goals faster or just be able to do them at some time in the future, I would definitely make those changes. Number 2 is create SMART goals. And I mentioned a little bit about what my goals were about saving up for a down payment because this is the most rent that I've been paying. I know it's just gonna keep going up. It might go back down, you know, I don't know how the markets are going to go. However, one thing I do know is that the houses in my area, especially with the interest rates, would save so much money with owning a house versus paying for a rental apartment. So you need to create your goals, preferably your SMART goals, and I made a video on that and I will link that in the description so that you can watch that after you watch this video. And number 3 is to check in with your goals and progress. I'm going to recommend to at least check in once a week. I find that if I wait for the entire month to check in, those little unexpected one-off purchases of $10, $5, $25, those add up throughout an entire month. And if I could catch that after week 1 or week 2, you could stop the bleeding a lot sooner. There are a lot of emotions and in general thoughts and energy associated with money, and that's why I created the Mind and Money series. It's free and it's linked in the description below. There is a lot at play when it comes to managing your money in a way that's sustainable so that you're able to plan ahead and reach your goals, but you're able to deal with the past, which is what I'm calling the debt. Everything associated with debt, you probably might already have the degree, or you already have the clothing, or you've already taken that vacation, but you're still carrying around the debt payment, which I think is a link to the past. The Mind and Money series will not only help with giving you practical tools to help you work towards your money goals, it will also help you be mindful and intentional so that you can reach your goals while having balance in your life. So that's what I wanted to share with you all today. Thank you so much for watching. You could also check out the card for the Vlogmas playlist in one of these corners, or you can watch yesterday's video right here where I talk about how to stay motivated on your financial journey. Again, thank you for watching this video, and as always, remember to make the decisions that support the life you want. Bye for now.